Welcome back, everyone. Summer is almost over, and if you have not tried one of these fruit salads, give one a try. We've got the tomato cracker salad. Yes, tomatoes are a fruit. Then we have the Waldorf salad. That will blow your mind. And we have the apple snicker salad. My husband can attest to that one because when I was making it, he was like, "What is that?" But when he tried it, oh my gosh, it blew his mind. He loves that one. Those flavors go well together. And then we're going to end it with the Coca-Cola jello salad. Bring this one somewhere. It's a retro salad, and oh my goodness, it's got Coca-Cola in it, so it's going to be good, right? All right, we have fall coming up pretty soon, and I'm ready to start some soups. So let's end summer with these dessert salads, and then we'll start soups for y'all pretty soon. All right, you guys, let's start with that tomato cracker salad. It's so delicious. We're going to take an old classic, a tomato sandwich, and turn it into tomato cracker salad. Y'all remember slicing tomatoes and putting it on mayonnaise bread with salt and pepper, and that was the best thing in the summertime? What's fun about this one is you can add different things to it that you like in salads to it to kind of bulk it up, give it some more flavor if you want. I'm going to be adding some hard-boiled eggs to mine, and I'm just using my little egg timer. If you don't want to boil eggs on your stovetop or in your oven or air fryer or wherever you like to hard boil eggs, this little thing right here will keep your house nice and cool. It can hard boil up to 6 eggs, so we're going to get those going. That way we can prep the rest of our salad. Always puncture a hole in your eggs when you do this. That way they don't explode. And then that hole right there, that goes side up. 5 and 6. We'll get that going, push the button. Now there's water in there. I just filled this up to the fill line for hard-boiled egg, and then that steam will release. All right, let's talk about the rest of the salad while that's happening there. I'm gonna grab my tomatoes. Here they are right here. I've already washed these off and dried them. These are pretty big Roma tomatoes. I use these for this salad because they're kind of beefy and they'll hold their shape better. So let's get a knife and chop these up. This is a tomato cracker salad, so you're gonna want some tomatoes in this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set it on the top of the tomato and let it rest there. I'm gonna run my knife through all the way, about 3/4 of the way through the tomato, about 3 or 4 times. And then you want to turn it around, slice through the slices the same amount of times. And then we're just going to lay it on our board sideways, run our knife through, and we got nice dices. Yeah, looks meaty, huh? Yeah, look at that. I'm going to put that back in the bowl for right now, and I'll go back and do the other 3. I'm going to let those sit in the bowl right here for just a minute while we get everything else ready. That is so it can drain a little bit. We don't want it too wet in our salad. There we go. All right, let's clean this up. All right, let's talk about the onions. I was raised in southern Mississippi. In fact, right there in Hattiesburg. I spent my whole school life there before we moved on to Texas, where I'm at right now. So yeah, tomato sandwiches, green onions, yes. Get a fair amount going here into the green. If you don't want to put green onions in your salad, you can put red onion, give it a little color. You can put yellow onion. Where we go right there. There we go. That looks good, doesn't it? All right, we're going to put this into a bowl. Set these off to the side. All right, what else do we want in our salad? I'm going to shred up some cheese. Put a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese, 1/4 cup. I'm going to use my shredder here. There we go, lock it in. Cut this in bars, 2 of those. Shred that up, and then My eggs are done. I'm just gonna pop these into some cold water, stop the cooking process, and we're gonna peel them and then dice these up. All right, what I'm gonna do now is add in about 1/4 of the Monterey Jack cheese. It's kind of a softer flavored cheese. Oh, nice fresh cheese. Nothing in that cheese but pure cheese. All right, do y'all like bell pepper? I'm gonna put like 1 side of a bell pepper. I'm gonna dice it up really small. All right, I'm gonna move that off to the side. Let's get our eggs ready. Y'all look how easy these peel. Just a little rinse in the water. There we go. There we go. Let's chop our eggs. Lengthwise 3 times. Flip it. And then just chop them up. Ooh, those look good. There we go. Now the other 2 of my eggs, I'm just gonna put in the refrigerator. People can have them later. We've given time for our tomatoes to drain just a little bit, so we're gonna add the tomatoes to our large bowl along with the other stuff that we have chopped up. We've still gotta make the dressing, and it is a cracker salad. Let's start with those tomatoes. There we go. See that juice? I'm just gonna get rid of. Let's add those green onions. As many as you want. I think that looks, well, let's just get them all in there. Let me get my bench scraper. All right, let's move down here. Let's get our eggs in. The cheese in. And the bell pepper. Let's see. There we go. Let's mix this together. Is that colorful enough for you? Let's see what else we're doing. We gotta make the dressing. We're gonna add in 1 cup of mayonnaise. Remember that on a tomato sandwich? Oh my gosh, mixed with the tomato juices and the salt and pepper. It was the best thing. I'd come home for that. Okay, we have a lot of things going on in the salad and there's no seasoning yet, so we're gonna go in with some salt. So this is where you can put what you want in your salad. If you want to keep it low, I'm gonna put about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Get the little bits of pepper in there. That's good right there. I'm gonna sprinkle in some garlic powder, just right across the top a little bit. We're gonna enhance the onions with a little bit of onion powder in the dressing. All right, let's mix this together. We're gonna add this to our salad. Ooh-wee, here we go. All right, we're gonna get them all out of there. There we go. We gotta lick our fingers. All right. Toss to combine. I'm just using a spatula here. Fold everything together. Y'all, that looks good in itself, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh my gosh, give me a spoon. This big spatula. Let me show you the crackers. Now with the crackers, you can use the original saltine crackers, which I have here. If you don't like those, you could use the Ritz crackers or the butter crackers, which I think are the club crackers. You can use those in here also. This is going to give you more of the authentic tomato sandwich feel. So we're going to crush in. You want to do it very roughly. Probably going to put in a whole sleeve of crackers. There's a lot in here. So just take them in your hands and just go crush and drop. All right, nothing more than that. Crush and drop. And I'm going to do the whole sleeve here. Crush and drop. Crush, drop, crush, and drop. All right, let's mix this together. Try not to break them up too much. It's just like you're folding. So you're going to pull from underneath, and pull through the middle. All right, let's bowl that up. Smells good in there. I'm the only one here today, so there's no one here to lick the spatula or the bowl. Just me. Okay, you know I've got to go in. So I can grab me a bite. It's not very big, is it? No. There's my bite. That takes me back years. That egg in there, it's almost like egg salad, tomato sandwich, just kind of all put together in a nice little salad. The crunch from the crackers, that's good. If you're making this ahead of time, I would do it without the crackers. Let it chill in your refrigerator, and then when you're ready for it, you can add the crackers and stir it in. All right, that way it'll keep the crackers kind of crunchy a little bit before, otherwise it'll go in your refrigerator and it's going to get soft. We're going to take all of this and we're going to make this right here. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to make the famous Waldorf salad. It has fruit, nuts, some spring-like veggies. We're going to pull it all together with a delicious creamy dressing, and it's all about presentation. I'm going to show you how we're going to serve it up. First thing that I'm going to prepare is the celery. Now, I've already washed it, and I'm just going to cut lengthwise a few strips. And I really love to pull from the inside of the celery to get this nice leafy right there. It's cool, it's refreshing. You don't have to bake or cook anything. Now I'm going to be using a full cup of diced celery. The leaves add such a look to the salad. All right, you're going to want a large mixing bowl. We'll add that to it. There we go. All right, we're going to add some grapes. Now I have a mix of red and green grapes, and we're going to half these.
Except for this one.
Y'all got to keep an eye on him.
They're good.
They're good. Good grapes. Now, I've had somebody ask me if I had a Waldorf salad. I have lots of salads out there, and I went to go look, and I'm like, I don't? Well, we need to fix that. So I saw several different recipes and kind of created what we like, but it's not far from what the original is, if there is one. There's so many different versions out there. Now I'm going to be cutting up about 1 cup of the grapes here. All right, let's add that into the bowl with our celery. Now I'm going to take about 1/4 cup of parsley, and I'm going to give it a nice rough chop. Now, if you don't like parsley, you don't have to put it in. Some recipes had it and some did not. Ooh, it smells so fresh in there. All right, let's talk about our apples. I have 2 ambrosia apples here. You can use any type of apple you want. It seems like the most popular is the green Granny Smith apples, but Thomas doesn't go that way. But he does like the ambrosias, so we'll cut those. You need 2 apples for this, or about 2 cups. So I'm just going to peel the apple. Now, if you don't want to peel your apples, you don't have to peel your apples. We're going to peel them. All right, we got them both peeled. We'll pass that on. He might be nibbling on these.
You know it.
Now you want just a little bowl of water there, and we're going to cut our apples. I'm just going to cut them along the sides. Or if you have an apple core, you can use that, but this was pretty quick and I already have the knife here. I'll give that to Thomas. He'll nibble on that too. And I'm just going to make big dices on the apples. We want to be able to get a nice crunch in our salad. All right, now I'm going to add something to the apples and I'm going to let them sit there for just a minute to soak up what I'm going to put in there. All right, 2 teaspoons of some lemon juice. Woo, uh-oh, there we go. All right, let's clean that lemon juice up. Okay, now we're going to talk about the nuts. And I have some walnuts here, and I'm going to toast them lightly on my burner just for about 30 seconds on each side. It'll get that aroma out of them, and they'll smell delicious. All right, we're going to place our burner on a medium heat. That way we don't scorch our walnuts or singe them. When you can start smelling the walnuts, turn off the heat. They smell delicious. You should use about 2 cups. Now all your ingredients, you can put in as much of something as you want and as little of anything else that you want. We're going to add this to our salad. Let's bring our apples over. I'm just going to get my strainer here, go in, strain out my apples. We're going to add them to the salad. Walnuts are good. Take your spatula, we're going to blend this all together. Look how pretty that looks. And what we're going to do is pull this all together with a dressing, and I'm going to show you a delicious version of a dressing. All right, I'm going to bring over just a medium-sized bowl. We're going to start with 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup Greek yogurt, any kind of plain yogurt, not flavored. Y'all got to like this kitchen. We always overspill everything, huh?
Love it.
All right, and then what we're going to do is add 1 tablespoon of granulated white sugar. We're going to crack in some salt, about 1/4 teaspoon. Black pepper. I'm going to try to get 1/4 teaspoon in there. And then we're going to add in some poppy seeds. A good amount. About 1/4 teaspoon. I think that's good right there. You can adjust anything that you want. That's what's great about this recipe. Get my little small whisk here. Blend this together. We'll give it a try and see if we need to change anything up in it. Now, if you don't have the yogurt, you can do 1/2 of the sour cream with your mayonnaise. Mix that together. That's going in my salad. Pour it in. Ooh, that poppy seed gives it a nice little pop.
Poppy seed gives it a pop.
Yep, pass that on and get my spatula here. All right, we're going to toss to coat. Get it all nice and coated. Gosh, doesn't that look good? All right, let's serve it up. I've got some romaine hearts. I'm going to take some off, give them a nice little rinse, and I'm going to put them on my serving platter. I think I'm going to do 4. All right, we're just gonna trim them down on the bottom a little bit. I'm gonna take a big old spoon and ladle it on. Then everybody can get a nice little portion. Okay, here is the final. How's that presented? You can also take the romaine, chop it up really good, put it in the bottom of a bowl, and then put that right in the center of it if you want to do that. But generally, it's served up with romaine lettuce. You could do this like individual portions or do a big bowl of it. I'm going to give it a try for you. All right, here's my bite. That dressing just pulls everything together. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cool, refreshing treat or dessert for summertime. For this recipe, you're going to need 6 Granny Smith apples. I've already washed these off. Take the core out and slice the apple, and then we're going to dice it. So I'm going to use my tool here, which will take out the core, and it'll make slices and make it really easy to help dice it. Ta-da! There we go. Now, yes, we are leaving the skins on because it'll add a nice color to our dish. And then we're just going to chop these up in kind of bite-sized pieces, like that. I'm just taking each, just cutting that in half, and running my knife through. Now what we're going to do as we're cutting these, we're going to put them into a bowl. We're going to squeeze in a little bit of lemon juice. We'll keep it from turning brown and keep their crispness on it. I'm just going to mix these around a little bit. Now, if you don't want to use one of these, grab your apple that you've already washed. We're going to cut off the 4 sides right near the core. There. And that's good to go. And then we're just going to slice these and then run our knife through for our bite-sized pieces. It's summertime and we need to bring out these cool, refreshing, no-cook recipes. I mean, you're always going to cook, but if you can do things and not have to cook, that'd be great. Now what we're going to do is just put that in the bowl, mix these up, and then we'll do 4 more apples. Did y'all know there's only 6 ingredients in this recipe? You're gonna make it now, huh? It's a really easy recipe. If you think you know where I'm going with this, put it down in the comments before I get to the other 5 ingredients. This was number 1 right here. And then we're gonna start with the second ingredient as soon as we get these apples processed. All right, there's our 6 chopped Granny Smith apples. I'm going to add a little more lemon juice on the top here and then get these mixed in. That's refreshing for summer. Thomas was here, he would be stealing apples left and right. You know it, right? All right, let's set those aside. Bring over this fun treat right here. These are the Snickers. You're going to need 6 regular size Snickers, or you're going to need 18 of these fun size Snickers. We're going to cut these into bite-sized pieces so people can enjoy them. Now the fun size I'm going to cut into 3 pieces. Now, I may be the one that may be having a hard time staying away from these as I'm cutting these up. I do like a Snickers. And if you want them smaller than that, you can do them smaller than that. You can cut them like that, maybe into 4s. I always say, have a nice treat while you're finished cutting the rest of these up. The caramel, the saltiness, the chewy of that Snickers with that chocolate, it's going to go really good with these apples. All right, I had to add an extra one in here because I may have eaten a whole one. All right, let's make the cool, creamy mixture that's going to pull this all together. 3.4 ounce size box of vanilla instant pudding mix. We're going to place that in a large mixing bowl. It's going to add some flavor. It's definitely going to add a texture to it, nice creaminess. Gotta love that vanilla, we'll pull it all together. We're gonna add 3/4 cup of milk. All right, this is ingredient 4. The pudding was 3, the milk was 4. We're gonna whisk this until we get a pudding-like consistency, and you want it nice and smooth. Well, that thickens up pretty quickly. What we're gonna do now is to get it nice and creamy. So we're going to take 8 ounces of Cool Whip. Now this is thawed. Now you can make your own whip topping if you want to do that. I'm just showing you a really easy 6-ingredient recipe. All right, let's whisk that in. I'm going in for that one. All right, you're going to blend that in. You want a solid color on that, making sure it's all blended in well. All right, look at that. I'm telling y'all, bring this to a potluck. You're gonna come back with an empty bowl. Right, let's bring out Mr. Sunshine. Now what we're gonna do is add in 2/3 of the apples. He's back, you guys.
Yeah, with my apple piece.
We're gonna stir that in. 2/3 of our Snicker bites. We're gonna put those in. We're going to blend that together. All right, we're going to bring over our serving bowl and we're going to put it in, top it up really well. Boop. Now let's jazz it up. All right, I'm going to decorate the top. That way we know what's in it. Everybody else will know what's in it. We'll put some of the apples on top. Make it look pretty, you guys. This will keep 3 to 4 days in your refrigerator. Keep it nice and covered. And then I got one more ingredient. We got number 6 coming. We're going to top it with a delicious caramel sauce. All right, this is the caramel sauce that I'm using. Look who I have, Thomas. Y'all, if y'all don't know him, that's my husband. He's usually behind the camera. And he's the one that's always with the hand, sneaking everything.
Sneaking, I do it in everybody's plain field of view.
All right, let's see if he knows what's in it. Only 6 ingredients. We had the Snickers, the apples, we had the pudding, we had the Cool Whip, and the caramel, and the milk. What do you think? Does it all go together in a delicious bite?
You're not going to believe this, but that is actually really good.
There it is, you guys. It's jiggly, it's fruity. I'm talking about cherries and a pineapple. And it's got a little kick from Coca-Cola. This recipe was given to me by Jacqueline. She must know that I like Coca-Cola. Can you imagine these 3 going together? Cherry, pineapple, and Coke. All right, we're gonna put this one together. Okay, we gotta make that jiggly part of this dessert. We're gonna take 1 can of Lucky Leaf cherry pie filling. It is 21-ounce size. We're going to put it into a medium skillet. Look at those cherries in there. Oh, smells good. Let's taste it. Yep. Summertime. We're going to take a spatula and put it into our medium skillet here. Woo, look at that. There we go. Get it all out of there. This is what I was using right here. To that, we're going to add half a cup of water and half a cup white granulated sugar. It's a dessert. All right, we're going to put this on a medium. We're going to combine this together and stir until the sugars have melted. It should take about 2 minutes. Make sure you put a timer on for it. Y'all, this will go perfect with any of your barbecue meats that you're going to be doing this summer. It'll wake up your palate. Oh yeah. All right, now that we've got the sugars dissolved for the 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and put this on a high heat, and we're going to bring it to a boil. All right, it's coming to a simmer, which means it's going to be boiling here in just a second. You want to get 2 boxes of 3 ounces cherry jello. We're going to get those ready to go into our mixture here. All right, we see it boiling there. Let's add our 2 packets of jello. Oh, that cherry flavor in there is coming through. Love that. All right, we're going to stir this continually for 2 minutes until the sugars have dissolved. Let me get my timer on. We're going to place this in the refrigerator for about 35 minutes to 45 minutes until it partially sets up. We don't want a full setup on this yet because we still got to mix in some fun things. All right, so I'll be back and then we'll put the rest of it together. All right, so we've taken it out of the refrigerator. Now let's add the good stuff to it. We've got 1 can of crushed pineapple. This is 20 ounces. It's going to be a very refreshing dessert. It'll pair with just about anything, and we talked about that. And then we're going to add 8 ounces of Coca-Cola. Give it that little kick. Not a spicy kick, but just a kick. It'll be fun. And then we're going to blend this all together. Y'all, I can drink this. It smells delicious. Yeah, you can see that it's starting to set up there. Let's talk about our mold. All right, this is what I'm using right here. This is a Tupperware mold, and what I like about it is it has a release on the bottom. You can pop that off right there. It'll help release your mold. Make sure that's on there so it don't dribble out. You can find this on my Amazon storefront, which is on my recipe blog at catherinesplates.com. Just go into the store link at the top. You can find it there, or you can use any mold that you want. Now, for a little assurance, I'm going to spray it with some non-stick, there it is, cooking spray right here. It'll help that jello get out of there. There we go. So I'm going to use a ladle to pour it in. Now, if you have extra, You can just use a small dish and put the rest of it in and refrigerate it with this right here. It smells so delicious. It seems to make more than what you need, and that's okay. I think that's good right there. And I'll just put the rest in this dish right here. There we go.
That'll be mine.
Yeah, right there.
No, the big one.
Oh, the big one.
That one's yours.
Now, my mold came with a lid. This is Tupperware. So you're going to refrigerate this covered for 4 hours until it is completely set. And then I'm going to take it out of the mold, give it some decoration. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to give it a try for you. All right. This set up for about 5 hours by the time we got back to it. I'm going to take a serving platter, or you can, a large plate, use that. I'm going to put it on top, and then I'm going to pick the whole thing up and flip it over. And take this off to release it. There it went.
Yep.
Y'all ready for the grand finale here? There it is. You know you got to make this one. It's a retro Coca-Cola jello salad. And the fruit flavors in here are pineapple and cherry. All right, let's jazz it up. Some Cool Whip. We're going to decorate it with some cherries. And a fork. Here's my bite. Get some of that Cool Whip on there. Mmm. Mmm. I like the little bits of pineapple in there. It definitely tastes like cherry. Mmm. Not really sure if I'm tasting Coca-Cola in there. All right, you guys, that is a very cool, refreshing jello salad. You can serve this up alongside any of your meats, or heck, have it for dessert. It's that delicious. All right, you guys, stay cool this summer. I'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.